Hello, I'm Harrison Keeley. Here's a quick look at today's top stories. First of all, the man charged with murder in what may be Chattanooga's first road rage killing has died. 62-year-old Richard Manning was being held in the December shooting death of 39-year-old Norman Gallman. But days after the incident happened, Manning suffered a stroke and was taken to Erlanger Hospital, where he'd been ever since. And despite being unresponsive, Manning was required to have 2 armed guards 24 hours a day. The guards cost the sheriff's office close to $400 every day. Manning, who was a Hamilton County sheriff's officer from 1977 to 1984, had also been a firearms instructor. More than 300 dead chickens have been found dumped on a road in northern Alabama. Officials in Gadsden say the carcasses were found on an abandoned road March 18th. Investigators aren't sure how the chickens died, and they say they showed no signs of disease. The Emergency Management Agency says someone called a landfill earlier this month asking how much it would cost to dispose of 300 dead chickens. The chickens have now been buried where they were found. The man accused in the stabbing death of Johnny Cash's great-niece has pleaded not guilty. 23-year-old Courtney Cash was found dead in a box in her Middle Tennessee home last week. Investigators arrested 27-year-old Wayne Massarella soon afterward. He's also suspected of stabbing Cash's boyfriend. Authorities believe he got into a fight with the two, which led to the attack. Frank Fisher is leaving Chattanooga's Volkswagen plant. Fisher is the first and only CEO of operations at the local factory. He's been in Chattanooga since the project began 6 years ago. Fisher is reportedly returning to Germany to work at Volkswagen's Emden plant, which produces the European version of the Passat. Hamilton County Commissioners have voted to fund 4 new school construction projects. The projects include a school to replace Gans Middle Valley and Falling Water Elementary, plus additions at Sale Creek Middle High, Nolan Elementary, and Wolfdever Creek Elementary. Altogether, the 4 projects will cost about $50 million, and despite a multi-day protest by parents in front of the courthouse, commissioners left out funding to replace Chattanooga School for the Liberal Arts. With more than 1,000 students on the waiting list, CSLA says it needs a new facility to double enrollment and expand to high school grades. A new building for CSLA has been on the system's to-do list since 1999. A new study says fixing the traffic mess that is Hamilton Place could cost $150 million. Traffic patterns on Gun Barrel Road in East Brainerd are only expected to get worse in the coming years. Proposed solutions include adding even more lanes, replacing intersections with roundabouts, or setting up a trolley system. But the idea that's garnering the most attention would also be the fastest and cheapest to implement. Engineers suggest putting all the traffic lights on a self-timing system, so instead of acting independently, they'd all be tied into one smarter system that can make adjustments on the fly. Finally, Tennessee regulators are implementing a ban on bare hand contact with food in restaurants. Restaurant workers will have to wear gloves or use utensils when handling ready-to-eat food. Officials say bare hand contact by kitchen staff is a leading cause of foodborne illness in the U.S. The state ban is expected to go into effect by next year. That will make Tennessee one of the last states to adopt a bare hand ban, which was recommended by the Food and Drug Administration more than 20 years ago. Turning to weather, today will be sunny with a high near 64 degrees and a chance of rain after 9 p.m. The low tonight will be around 54. That's it for today's newscast. Thanks for being with us. You can find more on these stories and breaking news all day long at timesfreepress.com.